This video is sponsored by Squarespace. Saucisse Banderie is one of the best new things I've tried in a long time. It's a Persian chopped hot dog sandwich that starts with caramelized onions. You spice them up, then add hot dogs and combine them with the saucy onions to create a mixture that packs an explosion of flavour in every bite. If you're a fan of hot dogs, this is a next level way of cooking them. To start, you need 500 grams of beef or chicken sausages. I doubt you can get Persian sausages, so using a sausage like Frankfurters is perfectly fine. If the sausages are a floppy kind, you want to firm them up before slicing. Fill a pan with water and bring it to a boil, then add in the sausages and boil them for about 3 to 4 minutes. That should tighten the skin, and once they're firmed up a little, pull them out and let them cool before you move on to slicing. Cut these into slices about 7mm thick. Cutting them on a diagonal will give you more surface area than cutting them straight on, and so they'll crisp up nicer when you fry them. Next, head over to the stove and into a pan add 2.5 tablespoons of vegetable oil. Turn the heat to medium-high. Once the oil is shimmering, add a batch of hot dog slices. Spread them into a single layer and fry for about 90 seconds. When they are browned on the first side, flip them over to fry on the second side. Continue frying and flipping them for about 4 to 5 minutes in total until they've developed some deep browning all over. That's going to give them a nicer texture in the final dish and create loads of additional flavour in the pan. When they're fried and golden all over, pull them out and then repeat with the remaining slices. When all the hot dog slices are cooked and you have plenty of browning in the pan, it's time to start caramelizing some onions. Take 3 medium onions and slice them into strips about 3 to 4mm wide. Scrunch the slices together to separate all the layers, then head over to the stove and add them to the pan. Turn the heat to medium and pour over 1.5 more tablespoons of vegetable oil and about half to 1 teaspoon of salt depending upon how salty your dogs are. Give the onions a quick toss to coat them in the oil, then add a splash of water to the pan to create some steam. Cover the pan with a lid to trap that in, and it will help the onions cook and wilt down a lot quicker. After about 3 minutes, the pan will be really steamy and the onions will have shrunk a little. Give them a toss and stir them to dissolve all the brown bits in the pan. At this stage, the onions are still quite firm, but you need them fully wilted and caramelized, so cover them with a lid again and cook them for about 5 more minutes. This time when you remove the lid, the onions will be a lot softer, but they're still not ready. They still contain loads of moisture, and now you'll cook them uncovered. It takes about another 12 minutes to caramelize the onions. Keep an eye on them, and if they start sticking to the pan, add a splash of water to deglaze, then continue cooking, until they are totally wilted and cooked through like this. These are now grade A caramelized onions, which contain loads of sweet onion flavour. But you're not done yet, you're about to build a ton more flavour in the pan. Start by adding 3 cloves of minced garlic and mix that with the onions, then cook it for about 2 minutes until the garlic is really fragrant. After that, add 50 grams of tomato paste and mix well. Fry the paste for 2 to 3 minutes to build flavour and browning, and when it starts sticking to the pan, you can add the spices. Add 1 teaspoon of turmeric and 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. This dish is usually spicy, so add as much chili flakes as you can handle or about 1 teaspoon. A lot of recipes also use curry powder, so add half a teaspoon of that and half a teaspoon of black pepper. Evenly mix the spices in with the onions and fry them off for a few minutes. The pan should develop loads of browning from the tomato and spices, so add some water to deglaze and continue cooking the spices. When it's very fragrant, mix in some water to make the texture a bit saucy. You can now add the hot dog pieces back to the pan and combine them with the onions. Cook for a few minutes until the hot dogs are heated through and you have a moist, beautiful mix just sitting in the pan. After cooking that for so long, I'm sure you'll have been tortured by the delicious smell, so you deserve a little treat. And after that small bite, you won't be able to hold yourself back from making this sandwich. Start with a crusty but soft bread roll, slice it in half and then spread some mayo onto both sides for extra moisture. Add in some lettuce and slices of tomato for a fresh element, and then top it with your saucisse banderie. For some salty contrast, add a few pickled cornichons and then seal the deal with a top layer of bread. It's not every day that you see or smell something this good, so excuse me while I dig right in. I've been thinking about this sandwich for weeks, and now it's time to try it. What a fantastic sandwich. Way to take something ordinary and boring and transform it into something amazing. I'm a big fan of hot dogs, and this is one of the best ones I've ever had. Try it, you're not going to regret it. And now, let me finish this thing. No matter what kind of food you're obsessed with, you can easily share your love for it on the internet with the help of Squarespace. Answer a few simple questions and you'll be matched with beautifully designed templates that you can customize to your heart's content. You just fill the template with your own content and photos, and if you're trying to build something particular, Squarespace has a template for it. From blogs and events to stores and videos, you can drag and drop any of them and get your website built so much quicker. Start building your website on Squarespace today. Then when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/middleeats to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.